The Great Sermon by Chidambaram Ramalingam. The Great Sermon, known in Tamil as Perupadesam, stands as the most profound spiritual message and declaration ever delivered by Ramalinga. It represents one of his final offerings to the world before his dematerialization. This supreme revelation was delivered at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, October 22, 1873. The moment was marked by the historic first hoisting of the Sanmarga Flag at Siddhivalaagam in Mettukuppam, signaling a turning point for all seekers of truth. As a cornerstone for human evolution, this sermon acts as an invitation to a new earth and carries the promise of attaining a life of eternal bliss. It is the roadmap for humanity to move forward into a higher state of being. To ensure this extensive spiritual speech is understood with absolute clarity, it has been thoughtfully organized into 7 chapters. Every detail remains unaltered to preserve its original power and sanctity. Each chapter is accompanied by a dedicated explanation to help readers integrate these deep truths into their lives. As declared by Ramalinga, this is the era of Sanmarga. This is the golden era. For chapter-by-chapter detailed explanation, please free download our book, The Great Sermon, given in the description. Chapter 1, The Path of True Inquiry. All of you here, do not continue to waste your time as you have done until now. From now until the brief period of 10 days, when the Lord departs for the Salai, let all of you remain in deep spiritual inquiry, Vikaram. And what is this inquiry? It is to examine, what is our own state? What is the state of the divine that governs us? This is what must be investigated. Accordingly, you may engage in this inquiry individually or collectively, with those whose intellect and discipline align with yours, or if you ask Velayuda Mudhalir, he will explain it to the extent that is sufficient for human understanding. You may inquire with him in that manner. Or you may also conduct this inquiry alone. If this inquiry is undertaken, the first veil, which heavily covers and obscures our soul wisdom, the green veil, will be removed. Once this veil is lifted, the remaining veils will be removed much more quickly. This green color is such that it is the first hue leading to darkness, black. In order for this dense green veil to be removed, one must pray, contemplate the divine, and deeply reflect on one's shortcomings. In this manner, whether sitting, lying down, or at all times without interruption, if one remains in this inquiry with the earnest effort, prayer, to receive the truth from the Lord, then what needs to be known will be revealed. This inquiry is of 2 kinds, higher inquiry, lower inquiry. Among these, the higher inquiry pertains to the spiritual realm, whereas the lower inquiry is about the material world. However, of the 2, worldly inquiry is not true inquiry. Even if a person appears to be engaged in inquiry, it does not qualify as real inquiry, nor is it a true search for truth. Just as algae covering the surface of water must be removed, the green veil of attachments that obscures our soul can be eliminated only through intense spiritual heat. No ordinary warmth can remove it. This spiritual heat is known through the experience of yogis. Cannot be artificially created at the human level. However, greater heat, spiritual intensity, can be generated through devotion and divine contemplation than through mere yogic austerities. Yogis go into forests, mountains, and extreme weather conditions, perform intense penance for thousands or even millions of years to cultivate this spiritual heat. Yet, far greater spiritual heat, 10 million times more, can be generated simply by praising and meditating on the divine with a heart full of devotion. For 3 hours of pure, undistracted spiritual contemplation, free from worldly concerns, with heartfelt devotion to the divine, can bring about all that one needs. Chapter 2, The Pure and Impure Veils. Some may ask, since the Lord is arriving soon, why should I make an effort now? Won't we automatically receive what we need as soon as he arrives? Yes, what you ask is valid. It is true that the Lord is coming. It is also true that the veils that cover us will be removed, and you will certainly all receive what you are meant to receive. However, the green veil related to attachments mentioned before consists of 2 parts. The veil of impure illusion and the veil of pure illusion. These exist as a lower section and an upper section. The lower section is the veil of impure illusion, which is focused on worldly pleasures. The upper section is the veil of pure illusion, which is focused on heavenly attainments. When the Lord comes to bestow grace, He will remove only the lower veil of impure illusion for ordinary people who have made no effort. Therefore, at that time, once that veil is removed, we may become clean and holy to an extent, but we will not be able to attain the final great realization. Furthermore, we will not be able to perform or attain the fivefold cosmic functions, other spiritual powers, or true soul experience. To ascend further, one must still put in good effort. Furthermore, the commotion and noise occurring here at this time have arisen to bring maturity to some and to repel the sinful. Therefore, if we all engage with extraordinary good effort right now, then when the Lord arrives, not only the lower veil of impure illusion, but also the upper veil of pure illusion will be removed. The veil of impure illusion is a green hue within blackness. The veil of pure illusion is a green hue within goldness. Once this green veil, both the impure and pure illusion veil, is removed, all the remaining veils will be removed very quickly. For the details of these veils, look into the Arut Parunjothi Agavel. Furthermore, as soon as this is removed, a person will perform the fivefold cosmic functions and more. Therefore, if every individual remains diligent in their effort, they will receive the profit reward accordingly. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Religious Doctrines. Beyond this, we must not place our focus on the Vedas, Agamas, ancient texts, epics, or any other scriptures we have previously read, heard, or held as our spiritual goal. Why? Because in all of these texts, they have concealed the true nature of the divine. Instead of revealing it clearly, they have covered it up using only coded symbols, just as one buries something under the earth. Without revealing even an atom's worth of truth, they portrayed the characteristics of the body upon the universe. They projected materialistic descriptions of the divine on a cosmic scale. For example, they assigned names and abodes such as Lord of Kailash, Lord of Vaikuntha, and Lord of Satyaloka. They assigned them places, vehicles, weapons, forms, and appearances just like a human being, and claimed these were real. If someone asks, "Does God have hands and legs?" those proponents simply blink, not knowing how to answer. Even those called great men of the past and present, without knowing the truth, have simply closed their eyes and babbled. However, the one who first hid this truth was a master of concealment. No one until now has seen what he hid. No one has opened the lock he fastened. Until now, no one has come to break that lock. Those scriptures speak of partial karmic powers as mere imaginations. If you spend 8 or 10 years of hard labor for each power, you might gain some minor powers. But if you fix your aim on them, you will lose your focus on the Lord. If that happens, the great benefit you are meant to receive will be lost. Or, if you labor all that time and achieve a tiny profit from those minor powers, you will miss the supreme profit. Therefore, do not aim for those. Aim only for the Lord. Understand that the aforementioned partial karmic powers are imaginary through the songs. A child's great petition, the verses of the inherent Vedas, Agamas, Puranas, Ithihasas from the song Garland for the Lamp of Grace, seek out and understand the true references that expose this illusion. Similarly, the grammars spoken of in works like Vyakarana, Tolkappiyam, and Paninium are filled with errors. For instance, you understood the truth behind the numerical system of 90 and 900 after I explained them, did you not? Likewise, why do Tamil numbers, from 1, Andru, and 2, Randu, up to 100 Nuru, all end with the U sound? In truth, the Siddhas assigned these as causal names. If explained in the manner I have explained, even small children can understand it. In the same way, do not fix your aim on religions such as Saivism and Vaishnavism, nor on philosophies like Vedanta and Siddhanta. In those, the divine is indicated only through coded symbols and has not been spoken of openly. If we practice those, we have no time. Therefore, do not fix your aim on them, because in those respective religions and philosophies, one might obtain minor benefits, but it is impossible to obtain the soul experience called natural reality, which is the peerless, great life. This is because we have no time. Chapter 4. The Real Path to the Supreme. I myself stand as a witness to all of this. It is impossible to measure the extent to which I initially held Saivism as my goal. that is known to Patanathu Swamagal, Velayutha Mudaliar, and a few others. Do you see how that goal has vanished now? No other witness is needed for the goal I once held. The hymns I have composed, which are contained in the Thiravarutpa, are sufficient. If those hymns and the hymns of others are brought before this assembly, they themselves will bear witness. If you ask why I had such an intense obsession back then, it was because at that time I possessed only such a small, meager intellect. Now, the Lord has raised me to a state that is otherwise unreachable. This is the profit that has come because I have now let go of everything. Therefore, if you also let go, you will obtain a great profit like me. Have those who, until now, held on without letting go obtained any profit? They have not. If one were to say that the goal I held in that religion is what lifted me to this state, no, that goal did not lift me. What truly lifted me? Even at a young age, he revealed to me what needed to be revealed, as I have mentioned in the A Child's Great Petition, and in the verses of the song, The Inability to Bear Separation, where I stated, "Did I ever think otherwise, my Lord, than seeing all deities as your reflection?" Furthermore, the discipline of the great true path that the Lord revealed is this: attain the vision that sees compassion and Shiva alone as the reality. What has raised me to this unreachable state is compassion. It is compassion that elevated me. To attain that compassion, realization of oneness must happen, that is, to see all beings as oneself. Only if that happens, true compassion arises. Only if compassion arises can one ascend to the great state. Now, my intellect has transcended even beyond the universes. This came only through that realization of oneness, seeing all beings as oneself. You too should remain in oneness like me. No matter how unruly or unyielding a person is toward me, I will speak good words to them. I will speak firmly to warn them. I will prostrate before them and speak, or I will provide material means to win them over, or I will think of the Lord and pray. In one way or another, I will bring them to the good path. All of you must do the same. Even last night, I petitioned the Lord, saying, "How will these people manage even for a moment without me?" This was not just concerning the people present here. I petitioned for all the people in the world. Why did I petition the Lord in such a way? Because everyone is a sibling, and since we are all partial manifestations of the natural reality, I hold that right of soul oneness. Now, even if you have been base human beings until now without attaining discipline, there are still a few days left before the departure for the Salai. Within that time, besides coming to good discipline yourselves, you must use any means or skillful method to bring others to our discipline and make them one of our own. You continue doing this for a few days. I, too, am constantly praying to the Lord and seeking His grace so that all living beings in this world may attain well-being. Therefore, you continue doing so. Apart from the religions, even the great men titled Vedantins and Siddhantins of various creeds, without knowing the truth, babble incoherently, just like the religious disputants. Therefore, do not believe any of that. In none of those has the divine been revealed openly. Without knowing the divine, the people of this world follow me as if I am the divine. Alas, is it not because our siblings do not know the divine that they follow me? I have been, am, and will be pitying this within and without. Why have they not realized the divine? If you ask why they have not known the divine, unless one experiences an object, the taste of that object remains unknown. Desire will not arise for an object whose taste is unknown. Similarly, unless one experiences the divine as it truly is, love for the divine will not arise. Therefore, remain in the state of primary aim to know the divine and keep performing your inquiry. Chapter 5. Seeing through illusions. If you ask how to perform that inquiry, perform the inquiry of the universe and the inquiry of the body. Inquiry of the universe: what are the sun, moon, and stars? What is their true nature and essence? Inquiry of the body: who are we within this body? Why does hair grow on the eyebrows and armpits and other such places? Why does it not appear on places like the forehead? What is the nature, form, and essence of the growth of nails on the fingers of the hands and feet, and other such principles? Keep performing such an inquiry. If you perform this inquiry without interruption, the people of this world will speak of it mockingly. It is natural for them to speak that way because they do not know the truth. Therefore, you must not pay any attention to it. Similarly, consider this inquiry. If the Creator intended for men to wear ear studs or for women to wear nose rings and other ornaments, would he not have provided the necessary holes in the ears and nose at birth? If one investigates and understands this, would the desire to pierce the ears for studs or the nose for jewelry still remain? When you investigate in this manner, an indifference toward worldly pleasures arises, leading to dispassion. Thus, within the four spiritual stages, Sarya, Kriya, Yoga, and Jnana, specifically within the fourth stage of Jnana, which contains its own sublevels of Sarya, Kriya, Yoga, and Jnana. This inquiry produces the fruit of the third sublevel, Jnana Yoga, which is the state of total dispassion. Therefore, remain constantly in this state of inquiry. If you remain in this inquiry, as soon as the Lord arrives, he will reveal what needs to be revealed to you in a partial manner. Later, as soon as you attain the rightful authority, he will reveal it to you in an infinite, universal manner. Therefore, remain in this effort. For 2.5 years, I have been telling you this. Henceforth, those who speak will be hindered for some time. From now on, do not remain as you have been until now. This is the final word. From this moment, for a short time, until the departure for the Salai, stay vigilant and continue the inquiry as mentioned above. Chapter 6. Revelation of the Supreme Mahamantra. Furthermore, in religions and creeds, the truth of the divine is indicated through coded symbols, and without even showing those hints openly, they have combined infinite letters like Savaya Nama and Nama Savaya, arranging them into mantras of various counts such as 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 13, 15, 16, 24, and so on, allowing them to pass into common usage. The meanings of those various mantras expand into many directions. However, what we must attain is nothing other than the final profit of the soul, which is the experience of Shiva. None of us here needs to worry about heaven or hell. Those who are concerned with heaven and hell will perform various practices according to their notions and obtain minor benefits. In the end, they will be hindered, and only after taking up the good effort of compassion with the help of divine grace will they attain the final bliss of perfection. That is a difficult path. At this moment, in order for everyone to be rid of all obstacles and attain the supreme bliss, the Lord has revealed to me the divine Mahamantra of the Holy Word, the Mahamantra statement that openly reveals his truth. I have mentioned, I am mentioning, and I will continue to mention the right of soul-love oneness that rose and surged within me, so that all of you may attain, just as I have, the bliss of the experience of true knowledge which arose from my own realization, without doubt, error, or confusion. Our Lord's command is this. Since compassion is our primary path, the Lord has established the holy Mahamantra as the first and foremost means. Arit Puranjyothi, Thani Parang Karanai, Arit Puranjyothi, kindness, compassion, and grace all denote the same reality. Therefore, the knowledge possessed of great compassion is itself the perfect bliss. It is the great intelligence of peerless and vast compassion. This is the direct expressive meaning. If the practice matures in this manner, there will be no obstacle to attaining the final experience of bliss. Understand this through the authoritative testimony. Whatever Vedic word one holds onto constantly, that itself shall come to fruition. Chapter 7. The Dawn of Sanmarga. Furthermore, until now, the Siddhas, who were practitioners of impure illusion, had hidden the truth of the divine, preventing it from being known. There have been no realized great souls who were practitioners of pure illusion. There was no Sanmarga, the true path. If Sanmarga had existed, we would have heard of experiences never before felt and teachings never before heard. Moreover, those who had died would have risen and returned to life. Therefore, it is only at this moment that the Lord has enabled us to hear teachings never heard before. Thus, this very moment, this very time is the age of Sanmarga. As a witness to this, the flag of Sanmarga has been hoisted only now. It was only today that the flag was raised. What that flag truly is, there is a nerve that exists from our navel to the midpoint between the eyebrows. At the tip of that nerve, inside the midpoint of the eyebrows, a membrane hangs. Its underside is white in color. Its upper side is yellow in color. Below that membrane, there is a nerve that moves up and down. This flag will become clear in our own experience. It is a symbolic sign of that. Today, externally, a flag of these symbolic colors was hoisted. From now on, a good experience will dawn in the intellect of everyone. I came to speak the truth, but even when I began to speak the truth, there was no one to understand it. Because the flag has been hoisted, from now on, everyone will know the truth. Those who came before buried and hid the truth as if throwing earth over it. At this moment, the Lord has revealed, is revealing, and will reveal it. May all of you know the truth. Be vigilant and continue your inquiry with true knowledge in the manner I have described. It is essential to possess the compassion that serves as the foundation for this journey. There must be a sense of soul oneness that leads to that compassion. If you remain in this state, you will receive every benefit as soon as the Lord arrives. This is truth, truth, truth. This is the command of the Lord. The assistance that can be given by this place is millions upon millions of times greater than the help provided by one's mother, father, elder brother, younger brother, or other close kin. This is the command of the Lord.
Arut perunjoti thani perang karunai arut perunjoti.
Concluding note. We have concluded our journey through Ramalinga's The Great Sermon. This profound document is a direct, urgent instruction from a realized being, given at the dawn of a new spiritual era. The Great Sermon stands as a definitive break from the limitations of the past. Ramalinga challenged the very foundations of tradition, religious scripture, philosophical doctrine, and even linguistic convention, not out of disrespect, but because these systems, by assigning limits and forms to the formless divine, inevitably concealed the ultimate truth. The core of this final teaching rests on two inseparable pillars: unwavering inquiry, the methodology for removing the veils. This is the continuous, intellectual, and spiritual pursuit that questions all illusion, whether it is a cosmetic custom or a rigid scriptural dogma. Ramalinga shows us that inquiry is the only source of true detachment. Soul oneness and compassion, the engine of grace. Ramalinga's personal testimony confirms that it was not his rituals or ascetic practices, but the experience of soul oneness, seeing all life as his own self, that elevated him beyond all limits. Compassion is the right needed for grace to manifest. Ultimately, all inquiry and effort are directed toward the ultimate divine gift, the supreme Mahamantra, which is revealed not as a secret code, but as the open universal truth. Arit Puranjyothi Thani Parang Karanai Arit Puranjyothi. This Mahamantra is the distilled essence of Suddha Sanmarga. The vast light grace is inseparable from the supreme, vast compassion. The challenge of the Great Sermon remains: do not remain as you were before. This book ends now, but your spiritual practice must begin or intensify immediately. There is no time for delay. The promise is absolute, guaranteed by the Lord's command. If you dedicate yourself to this path of pure inquiry and boundless compassion, the veils will lift, the ultimate realization will dawn, and you will attain the highest bliss. May the vast grace light guide your continuous inquiry.